My wife emptied our bank account and left me for her gym trainer. You're fat, boring and broke? He's everything you'll never be, she laughed, throwing our wedding ring in the trash. I just nodded. 6 days later she was screaming at my door, broke and betrayed. I never thought I'd be posting here, but I need to get this off my chest. The past week has been surreal, and honestly, writing this down might help me process everything that's happened. My wife Ella, 31F, and I, 34, have been married for 6 years. We met through mutual friends, dated for 2 years, and got married in a small ceremony with just close family and friends. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable, renting a decent 2-bedroom apartment, both working steady jobs and saving up for our own place someday. The first sign something was off came about 8 months ago. Ella started going to this new gym that opened nearby. Nothing fancy, just your typical chain gym with the usual membership deal. She'd never been big on fitness before, but suddenly she was going 4 or 5 times a week. At first I was happy for her. She seemed energized, more confident. Then came Dale, 2008 M, her personal trainer. Looking back, I should have seen it coming. Every conversation somehow included Dale says or Dale showed me. She'd come home from sessions talking about how inspirational he was, how he used to be overweight himself but transformed his life, and now he was helping others do the same. I work hard at my job, usually pulling 10-hour days. I'm not overweight, but I'm not exactly hitting the gym 5 days a week either. Ella started making these little comments. At first just suggestions about my diet, then more direct criticism about my appearance. Dale says abs are made in the kitchen, she'd say while watching me eat my usual lunch. Or Dale thinks most people don't realize how bad their eating habits are. About 3 months ago things got worse. She started going to the gym twice a day, sometimes morning and evening sessions. When I questioned the extra expense of all these personal training sessions, she got defensive. I'm investing in myself, she'd snap. Unlike some people, last Tuesday I came home early because work finished ahead of schedule. As I walked in I heard Ella on the phone in our bedroom. I know, baby, soon. He doesn't suspect anything. You're right, he's too dumb to even notice. My stomach dropped. I stood there frozen as she continued her conversation, completely unaware I was home. She was laughing about me, about how I hadn't noticed her changing her password, about how pathetic it was that I trusted her so completely. I waited until she left for her evening gym session, then checked our joint account. 6 years of savings, $28,000 we've been putting aside for a house down payment, gone, transferred out that morning. When she came home that night, I was sitting in the kitchen. No dramatic confrontation. I just looked at her and said, I heard you on the phone. I know about Dale. You know what she did? Laughed. Actually laughed in my face. Finally figured it out. She pulled off her wedding ring. God, you're so boring, so predictable. Dale's everything you're not. Passionate, ambitious, actually takes care of himself. She tossed the ring in the trash. You can keep this dump. Dale's got a place lined up for us. I stayed quiet watching her pack her expensive new gym bags. Now I knew who'd bought those. She kept talking, getting nastier with each word. How Dale understood her. How I'd held her back. How she deserved better than a boring nobody who'd never amount to anything. The money? I finally asked. Consider it payment for wasting 6 years of my life, she smirked. Don't worry. You can start over. If anyone would hire you, she left that night. I sat in our half-empty apartment surrounded by the gaps where her things used. But here's what Ella doesn't know. I'm not the same guy who would have once begged her to stay. That man died listening to her laugh at him through a bedroom door. I spent the next day making calls. Turns out Dale isn't the success story he claims to be, and that dream life he promised her. Let's just say reality is about to hit hard. It's been 6 days. She's already tried calling twice, but I haven't picked up. Each time I just watch the phone ring and smile. Because while she thinks she's broken me, she has no idea what's coming. I've got more to share, but this post is long enough. I'll update soon with what happened next. Trust me, it's worth the wait. Update. Thanks for all the support on my last post. A lot has happened in the past week, and karma is hitting harder than I could have imagined. Remember how Ella thought Dale's beach condo would be their perfect love nest? Turns out, it's a rundown studio apartment he rents month to month above a noisy bar. Welcome to paradise, honey, but let me back up. The morning after Ella left, I started making calls. First was our joint phone plan. I canceled her line without hesitation. Then I froze our joint credit cards and removed her from my car insurance. Small things, but they add up. The real bombshell dropped when I met with Sarah, one of the other trainers at the gym. She messaged me on Instagram after seeing Ella's relationship status change. Turns out, Dale's got quite a reputation. He's done this before, 3 times. He finds unhappy married women, convinces them they deserve better, and moves them into his crappy apartment. Once they run out of money or he gets bored, he kicks them out. He bragged about it in the break room. Sarah told me over coffee, called it his renovation project. Finding women who need upgrading from their boring husbands. Ella wasn't special, just his latest target. Sarah had screenshots of Dale's old Facebook posts showing the pattern. She handed them over without hesitation. He's giving all of us trainers a bad name, plus he stole 2 of my clients with his BS. The next day, Ella started calling. First from random numbers, then from her friends' phones. I didn't answer, but her voicemails told the story. The beach condo was temporary. Dale needed her to chip in for rent. Her new life wasn't quite what she expected. Then I got a text from Riley, Ella's best friend. Dale kicked her out of bed at 5 a.m. for his morning clients. She's sleeping on a futon while he works. This isn't what she thought it would be, but here's where it gets good. Remember that $46,000 she took? Our joint account had a business clause. It was meant for household expenses and bills. I had proof she transferred it directly to Dale's personal account. One call to the bank's fraud department, and things got interesting. 2 days ago, Dale's gym manager, Kristen, called me. Not about a restraining order this time. Apparently, Dale's been using the gym's client list to find his targets. He's been promising special private sessions in violation of his contract. Kristen was horrified when I showed her the evidence Sarah gave me. We've had complaints, she admitted. But this is different. He's preying on our clients. Yesterday, Ella finally got through on my work phone. She was crying, saying Dale had changed once they moved in together. He's controlling, obsessed with his routine, and expects her to pay for everything since she has all that money. She didn't know he'd been fired from the gym or that 3 other women had filed complaints against him. I made a mistake, she sobbed. The apartment is horrible. He spends all day at the new gym, comes home late smelling like perfume. When I questioned him, he said I was being just as boring as you were. I hung up without a word. This morning I got an email from our bank. They're investigating the transfer as potential fraud. Dale's account has been frozen. Ella's been completely cut off from our assets. She can't even get into our Netflix account. The best part? I drove by Dale's place yesterday. Saw him with another woman, probably his next renovation project. Ella was walking up with groceries right as they were kissing goodbye. The screaming match could be heard from my car. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not plotting elaborate revenge. I'm just letting their own choices destroy them. Ella wanted excitement. She got it. She wanted to feel special. Now she knows just how special she was to Dale. My lawyer says our divorce will be straightforward, especially with the proof of where the money went. I'm getting everything back plus her share of the house for the financial misconduct. I've started hitting the gym too, a different one obviously. Turns out, spite is a great motivator. Every time I think about them I do another set. I'm already down 15 pounds. There's more coming. Dale's old victims are coming forward. The gym's corporate office is investigating. Ella's realizing she threw away a good life for a con man's promises. And I'm just watching it all unfold. More updates soon. The next part is even better. Edit: wow, this blew up. Thanks for the awards and support. To answer some questions: 1. Yes, the gym is taking legal action against Dale. 32. Yes, I'm keeping the house. Edit: 2. To the people saying I'm being too harsh, she stole our savings, cheated for months and laughed in my face. I'm gonna make her regret what she did. Update 2. If you haven't read my previous post, check my profile TLDR. Wife emptied our accounts and left me for her gym trainer Dale. But karma's been hitting hard. Holy shit, these past 2 weeks have been wild. Remember how I mentioned karma was just getting started? Well, it arrived like a freight train, and I barely had to lift a finger. First off, thank you for all the support on my last post. You guys were right. Staying calm and letting things play out was the smart move. Here's what's been happening. Last Tuesday, I was having coffee on my porch when Ella's car came screeching into the driveway. She looked nothing like the smug woman who'd walked out on me. Her expensive highlights were growing out, and she was wearing the same clothes I'd seen her in 3 days ago. Open the damn door, she screamed, pounding on it so hard my Ring camera was going crazy. I know you're in there. You ruined everything. I stayed on my porch sipping my coffee. The door's unlocked, Ella. Come around back if you want to talk. She stormed around. Mascara streaked down her face. You had no right to contact his wife. Who told you about Riley? Yes, Riley, Dale's wife, who he'd conveniently never mentioned to Ella. Turns out our boy Dale had quite the pattern. Get hired at upscale gyms, seduce wealthy clients, convince them to leave their spouses, drain their accounts, then disappear. Only this time he picked the wrong target. We weren't wealthy and I wasn't staying quiet. I didn't contact anyone, I said calmly, but maybe check his phone next time before emptying our accounts for him. She collapsed into a porch chair, ugly, crying now. Turns out Dale's beach condo was actually a rundown Airbnb he'd rented for a week. The money she'd stolen from our account, he'd convinced her to transfer it to his investment account for their fresh start. Guess who hasn't seen a dime of it since? He changed all his passwords, she sobbed. He won't answer my calls. Riley showed up at the Airbnb yesterday with divorce papers. She said I'm the fourth one this year. The fourth one. I took another sip of coffee. That's rough. Wanna know what's rougher? Having your wife of 8 years empty your bank account and throw her wedding ring in the trash? She tried to play the victim card. I was confused. He manipulated me. You have to help me get the money back. No, I don't, I said. But I did help you with something else. Check your work email. See, while she was busy playing house with Dale, I'd been busy too. Remember that trick she pulled telling me his gym manager had a restraining order ready? Funny thing about gym managers, they don't like it when their trainers scam multiple clients, especially when those clients' spouses email them detailed evidence of the scam. Dale's not just fired, he's blacklisted from every major gym chain in the area. His certification's under review too. Turns out sleeping with clients and running financial scams violates a few ethics codes. They suspended my membership, she wailed. Everyone at the gym knows. Sarah from spin class blocked me on Facebook. My own sister won't talk to me. That's what happens when you post about your amazing new life with your trainer while you're still legally married. I shrugged. People talk. She spent the next hour alternating between crying, screaming, and begging. She's staying with her parents now. They made her get a COVID test before letting her in, convinced she'd caught something from Dale. Her dad called me later apologizing. Turns out Dale had told her I was abusive, boring, probably cheating. She'd eaten up every word. The karma keeps coming. Dale's wife Riley, she's been doing this dance with him for years. Every time he pulls this scam, she takes him back after he gives her a cut. They target wealthy women. But this time, they picked a construction worker's wife with joint accounts I'd already emptied except for the money Ella stole. They played themselves. Ella's called me 47 times today. She wants to talk about reconciliation, says she'll get counseling. She's changed. She misses our boring life. Her last text, I'll do anything to fix this. Please. You don't understand what it's like having nowhere to go. Actually, I do understand. Because for a few days there, while she was posting beach selfies with Dale, I was sleeping on my buddy Vernon's couch, eating ramen, and planning my next funny how life works out. I've moved all my stuff to a new place, changed my numbers, upgraded my home's security. The divorce papers are being delivered to her parents' house tomorrow. She can keep the money. It's worth every penny to be free of her. The house, I'm selling it. Already had 3 offers over asking price. Turns out the housing market's pretty good right now. The money I'd been saving secretly for her dream kitchen remodel, that's my down payment on a new place. Smaller, but it's mine. I know this is long, but one last thing. Thank you, Ella. Seriously, you showed me exactly who you are, and in doing so you freed me to become who I needed to be. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not even hurt. I'm just free. Final update coming soon, trust me. It gets better. Edit. Since so many are asking, yes, I'm keeping the dog. She's snoring next to me right now, probably dreaming about the treats Jackson from the pet store keeps sneaking her. At least someone's love was unconditional. Final update. It's been 2 months since my last update, and what a wild ride it's been. First, thank you all for the support. Your messages kept me going through some dark times. Now let me tell you how everything finally came crashing down for Ella and Dale. Remember how I mentioned Dale's beach condo was actually a dingy apartment he was renting? Well, it gets better. Last week Ella found out she wasn't the first wife he'd convinced to empty joint accounts and run away with him. She was the third. The other 2 women reached out to me through Facebook after seeing my posts about the gym situation. The day everything imploded started normally enough. I was having coffee at my usual spot when I got a call from an unknown number. It was Ella, crying hysterically. Dale's gone, she sobbed. He took everything. The money, my car, even my phone. I had to borrow someone's phone to call you. You were right about everything. I just laughed. Really? The perfect Dale? The guy who was everything I'm not? That Dale? She started screaming about how I had to help her, how she had nowhere to go. Her parents wouldn't take her calls anymore. They saw the Facebook evidence I sent them. The gym fired Dale for sleeping with multiple clients, and she lost her job after missing too many shifts during her romantic getaway. Remember when you threw your wedding ring in the trash? I asked calmly. That's exactly where you belong right now. She showed up at my door that evening, mascara running down her face. Through the security camera I watched her pound on the door for 20 minutes, screaming that she was sorry, that she'd made a huge mistake. Daniel, please. I know you're in there. Everything's gone wrong. Dale was lying about everything. He's not even a certified trainer. He faked his credentials. Please, I have nowhere else to go. I opened the door but didn't let her in. She looked terrible, wearing the same expensive workout clothes from 2 months ago, but now they were wrinkled and stained. Her perfect gym body hadn't seen a workout in weeks. What happened to the money, I asked, even though I already knew. She broke down completely. Turned out Dale had convinced her to invest the $46,000 from our account into some fitness supplement business opportunity. Surprised the business didn't exist. He'd been running this scam at different gyms across 3 states. I was stupid, she cried. You were a good husband. I threw everything away for nothing. No, I corrected her. You threw everything away for Dale. There's a difference. Then I showed her my phone. On it was a text conversation with Riley, the gorgeous receptionist from my office who's been bringing me lunch lately. We had dinner plans that night. Ella's face went from desperate to furious in seconds. Already replaced me? Couldn't even wait a few months? I smiled. Actually, Riley's been asking me out for a year. I always said no because I was married to you. Loyal, remember? But now I'm free to date someone who actually appreciates me. She lost it. Started screaming about how I planned this. How I must have known about Dale all along and set her up. Classic Ella. Always someone else's fault. The house is in my name, I reminded her. The car you drove off in was in my name, which is why I reported it stolen when Dale took it. Your parents know everything. Your job is gone. And that perfect trainer you left me for? He's probably running the same scam on some other gym right now. I'll tell everyone what an absolute bastard you are, she threatened. I shrugged. Go ahead. Everyone already knows the truth. I made sure of that. Then I did something that felt amazing. I closed the door in her face. Through the camera, I watched her sink to her knees on my porch, sobbing. 10 minutes later, an Uber picked her up. I went on my date with Riley that night. We had a great time. She knows my whole story and says, I'm nothing like the boring loser Ella described. Turns out when you're not being constantly torn down by someone who's supposed to love you, you can actually be pretty fun. The karma train wasn't finished though. Yesterday, I got a call from Sarah, Dale's first victim. The police caught him trying to run the same scam at a gym in another state. He's facing fraud charges from multiple women. Ella? Last I heard she's living with her sister, working at a fast food place since no dental office will hire her. With her recent work history, she keeps making new social media accounts to message me, switching between begging for another chance and cursing my existence. Me? I'm doing better than ever. The house is peaceful. I'm sleeping well. Started going to a different gym with Riley. She's into rock climbing. And I've actually lost 20 pounds. Not because anyone pressured me, but because I wanted to. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting stupid people face the consequences of their stupid decisions. Edit, to everyone asking, yes, I'm keeping the ring, gonna sell it and take Riley somewhere nice. Edit 2, stop asking for Dale's full name or the gym location. I won't share that info. Final edit, this is my last update on this situation. Life's too good to keep looking back.